Welcome to the OpenSLO and alerting presentation. Who am I? I am Weyert and I work as a senior software developer at Topico. Topico is an Evansett-backed fintech with the mission to build the rails for more seamlessly interconnected financial services through an aggregated API. In this talk, I'm talking about OpenSLO and what has changed since the OpenSLO specification was announced in May at last year's SLOconf, and give you a deep dive into the latest changes of the OpenSLO specification. Before we start, I would like to answer the question, what is OpenSLO? OpenSLO is a community-driven specification standard that was introduced at last year's conference and brings a common format to describe and define service-level objectives in code, allowing you to use tooling to generate configuration for underlying systems and helps the reuse, but also makes your SLOs more interoperable between vendors. Changes since last year. Since last year's announcement, a group of contributors has been working on improving the specification. Some of these improvements are: 1. Added the ability to associate labels and annotations with SLO, allowing you to define implementation or system-specific metadata such as the dashboard URLs or the team owning the SLO. 2. Data sources allows reusing a source between different SLOs, avoiding the need to redefine it in each SLO. 3. Define your service level indicators using bad events and total events for ratio metrics instead of good total events. 4. Allow to define service level indicators separately from service level objectives, allowing you to reuse the same SRIs between different SLOs. 5. And alerting, the topic of this presentation. To describe the alerting in your service level objective definition, the following 3 elements are needed. 1. Alert policy. An alert policy defines the conditions for the SLO when to trigger an alert. A policy can consist of one alert condition, but we plan to support more than one in a future iteration of the specification. 2. Alert condition. The alert condition defines when an alert should be triggered. 3. Alert notification target. A notification target allows you to describe the targets to send an alert. Think of Slack, Opsgenie, or an email message. You might wonder, how does an alert policy relate to your defined service level objective? Well, each SLO calculates an objective value based on its associated service level indicators, and the policy helps expressing and defining what should happen when its calculated value reaches a specific value, or when the value cannot be calculated because there's not enough data to do so. For example, when you want to get notified when your SLO consumes the error budget at a high rate, you can define a burn rate based alert for your SLO. For each alert policy, a decision needs to be made in which circumstance an alert needs to be triggered. First, there is an option named Alert when breaching. When set to true, an alert will be triggered when the objective is breaching the threshold defined in the alert condition. Secondly, the alert when resolved allows you to trigger an alert when the breach of the condition has been resolved. Lastly, the alert when no data allows triggering an alert in the special case when the objective's value could not be calculated and thus not meet the condition. An example definition of an alert policy is shown on the screen. We go step by step through the important fields. Every alert policy needs to have a unique name. This allows you to reuse the policy in other SLOs. Each alert policy needs to have an alert condition associated with it. Currently only one is accepted, but in the future we want to enhance the specification to allow more. The field alert when breaching can either be true or false and defines whether an alert should be triggered when the condition of the alert policy is breaching or not being met. The field alert when resolved can either be true or false and defines whether an alert should be triggered when the condition of an alert policy stopped breaching or has been resolved. Lastly, the field alert when no data can either be true or false and defines whether an alert should be triggered when there is no data available to calculate the objective's value. The second step is the alert condition. On the screen you can see an example of such a definition. We go step by step through the important fields. Each alert condition needs to have a unique name, just like with the policy. This allows you to reuse the condition in other SLOs. You need to define the level of severity of the alert, for example P1, P3, low or high, of your choice. If you want more control when to alert, you can indicate that you want to have a burn rate based alert by setting the kind property to burn rate. If you do, you need to fill in some more fields. For a burn rate based alert, you need to set the threshold when the alert needs to be triggered. Also, a burn rate based alert needs the time frame to calculate the threshold for, or the so-called lookback window or period. The alert after field allows you to indicate after what kind of duration the alert should be triggering when the condition is met. For example, you can have an alert when the condition is met for at least 5 minutes or instantly by setting it to 0 minutes. Finally, each alert policy needs at least one alert notification target. A notification target describes to where the alert needs to be sent to. Each notification target needs to have a unique name, so you can reuse it in other SLOs, just like with the policy and condition definitions. The target field is required for a notification target and describes its target. For example, you can think of Slack, email, or Opsgenie. The notification target defines the available targets and is an implementation detail for the system consuming OpenSLO files. If you're interested in OpenSLO and want to read more about it, you can visit the website on OpenSLO.com. If you want to discuss this topic with me, you can email at Weyert@tapco.io. I would like to thank you for attending my presentation about OpenSLO and its new alerting feature.